Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I can't tell you how much it warms my heart to see so many people here to help us celebrate the King County Refugee Resettlement Hotel Program. I'm Megan Cromar, and I'm the division director that helped lead this project for the King County Department of Community and Human Services. During the past year, Washington State received 5 times as many refugees as the year before. Many of them were from Afghanistan. In September of 2021, King County organized an emergency governmental response to help. For those that we served during this response, the experience was filled with so many unknowns. And while as a county we couldn't answer every single question or ease the pain of having to leave one's home, we could provide a safe place to start to build a new home, beginning at the hotel. The hotel team took special care to take into consideration culture and equity as we built out a brand new customer experience that would be as comfortable, sincere, and welcoming as possible. This included hiring former hotel guests and others from our local Afghan community to ensure that we could provide culturally and linguistically relevant supports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Who's tried to staff something 24/7 here? Very hard. When people would come to check into our hotel, usually straight from a refugee camp, and they walked in and saw somebody who shared their same culture, their same language, their same religion, I would instantly see relief. Over the coming days and weeks and months, as they would chat with our hotel staff and they would learn more about how they got a job for King County, I would see hope. And we all know that hope is a key part of resilience. This incredibly meaningful project has been a joint effort by so many who are here today and many who aren't here. The success of this project took collaboration from all across King County, including the Department of Executive Services, the Department of Community and Human Services, the Facilities Management Division, the Department of Human Resources, the Office of Equity and Social Justice, Seattle-King County Public Health, and Metro. This was truly an example of de-siloing, partnering, and doing the right thing, putting our people first. Together, we were able to provide temporary housing, support, and most important, connection to our community for so many. We've truly lived out our true north, making King County a welcoming community where every person can thrive. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce you to King County's Deputy Executive, April Putney.
Thank you, Megan. I'm pleased to be able to join you today to celebrate this meaningful program that has changed lives through our collective work and partnership. On behalf of Executive Constantine, I want to recognize the extraordinary efforts of everyone here today and those of us who weren't able to join us. Together, we've worked day in and day out since last fall, ensuring that we welcomed newly arriving refugees in King County with friendly faces ready to assist them. I want to thank Megan and her team at the Department of Community Human Services, Tony Wright and his team at the Facilities Management Division, the International Rescue Committee, the City of Federal Way, everyone employed at our hotels, our community partners, and many others who collaborated to provide support and services for our newest residents. And I want to give an special thank you to the Washington Department of Social and Health Services Office of Refugee and Immigrant Assistance and Mayor Bernie and the City of Redmond, whose partnerships made it possible for us to continue offering a place for people to live. Together, our actions have provided nearly 800 refugees housing and relocation support, helping them open a new chapter in their lives here in King County. Executive Constantine first announced last September that King County would take concrete actions and make investments to ensure families and the community partners who would support them would have what they needed to ease the process of resettling. This included the use of our newly purchased Health Through Housing hotels, as well as $500,000 to provide everything from language supports, such as translation interpretation, to one-time grants for community-based organizations to use for emerging needs and increased capacity, allowing them to do what they do best. Executive Constantine in King County took these actions because he knows our community understands the importance of helping others whenever we are called upon, and that King County will always provide a safe harbor to those arriving from other nations, whether they have done so under duress or by choice. The accomplishments of the last year show just how true that is. This unique initiative and collaboration of the state and local levels among community partners and international organizations is a testament to what we can achieve when we join together. And while this program may be ending this month, King County looks forward to future opportunities to collaborate with the state and federal governments and our community partners to continue ensuring that all refugees who make their way here to start a new life have the support they need. I now am pleased to introduce Nikki Smith, Executive Director of IRC.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Nikki Smith, and I'm the Executive Director of IRC in Washington. IRC's been in Washington since 1976, and we're proud to have worked with all the agencies in this room today and have resettled over 30,000 refugees during that 4-decade history. As you probably heard from my colleagues, the past year was incredible. It was unprecedented. At the IRC in Seattle, we went from welcoming 200 newly arrivals to over 1,000 in the 2021-2022 fiscal year. We also opened a new office site in Spokane. In the wake of the global crisis, I'm extremely proud and honored that IRC could be part of this incredibly innovative 3-way partnership between King County, IRC, and DSHS to respond to this crisis at a local level. I hope we can be an inspiration or a touchstone, if you will, for future endeavors and with other agencies. I'm extremely appreciative also to the City of Federal Way and the City of Redmond for their amazing welcome in this space as well. Together, we formed a unique and amazing partnership for the use of 2 hotels in 2 locations, one in Federal Way and this one here in Redmond. This hotel really enabled us to quickly respond to the massive influx of new arrivals, give them a safe and warm welcome immediately upon arrival, provide case management services efficiently from one location, and more importantly, take the pressure off the limited housing resources in this area, which benefited other agencies, our colleagues in other resettlement agencies who were also working to house the refugee community. Because of all this, we were able to give newly arrived families the safety, security, and support services they needed at this critical time, and as a solid springboard from which for them to rebuild their lives. As we live through these remarkable times and look to build new systems for how to help more arrivals in this incredible welcoming state of Washington, as we have witnessed over the last year, we're now looking to take this proven model of success into the next stage. On behalf of IRC, we celebrate this achievement. We applaud your willingness to embark on this innovative approach, and we thank you sincerely for this incredible positive impact that you have all made in the lives of newly arrived families. It has been a humbling experience and a really heartwarming experience, and I sincerely thank everybody. And now I will call upon the amazing Sarah Peterson, State Refugee Coordinator.
Thank you so much. My name is Sarah Peterson, and I have the honor of serving as Washington State Refugee Coordinator, and I oversee the DSHS Office of Refugee and Immigrant Assistance. It is an honor here to be with all of you today. Over the past few weeks, I've been reflecting on the hard work that we've done as a community to welcome more than 3,273 Afghans through the federal Operation Allies Welcome. Over a year ago, the U.S. government evacuated 83,000 people from Afghanistan to bring them to safety and security in the United States. While our Afghan guests stayed at safe haven military bases across the country, our local resettlement agencies, such as the International Rescue Committee, did a tremendous amount of work to welcome people into our local communities. When the federal government needed to expand capacity to find a local home for all of our Afghan guests, they reached out to states and invited us to participate in the state Afghan placement and assistance program. And true to our culture and our nature of being a welcoming community, Washington State said yes. And so the DSHS Office of Refugee and Immigrant Assistance, along with the leadership of our department, agreed that we would participate in the state Afghan placement and assistance program. Through this program, we were able to expand our state's capacity to welcome an additional 750 people. With additional federal funding, we partnered with King County, the Department of Community and Human Services, and the International Rescue Committee to place people in temporary housing. We were able to cover the staffing support and maintenance for the transitional housing to bring more people into our local communities. For those of you who have spent years working in refugee resettlement, those of you who are new to this effort, to those of you who are refugees and immigrants yourselves, helping people to rebuild their lives in a new community after they've fled their home countries due to safety and persecution is one of the toughest jobs you'll ever love. And it takes all of us to be a welcoming community. Today's celebration is a reflection of our strong community of people joining together to welcome those who have lost everything and need new opportunities and resources to be able to thrive, contribute to our society. I join all of today's speakers to say thank you for the opportunity to be part of this great effort. Thank you for all of the contributions you've made. It is a unique collaboration, and we look forward to be able to continuing to do it moving forward. On behalf of DSHS, I am proud to introduce our Assistant Secretary, Tony Bowie, to share more about the work that our administration is doing to promote Washington without poverty and justice. Tony?
All right, thank you, Sarah. I'm so excited to be here today to celebrate the work of the International Rescue Committee, King County Department of Community and Human Services, and the Department of Social and Health Services, Office of Refugee and Immigrant Assistance. As the Assistant Secretary for Economic Services Administration, I'm working with a team of dedicated professionals striving for Washington without poverty and injustice. Our mission is to transform lives by connecting children and adults and families and resources and opportunities they need to help them reach their full potential. Every year, our administration supports 1.7 million low-income Washingtonians by providing basic needs supports through the public services we provide. For decades, we have served refugees and immigrants through the work of the Office of Refugee and Immigrant Assistance. In fact, we recently learned that Washington State established the first office in the nation dedicated to coordinating refugee resettlement. We are grateful to be joined today with our partners from the Federal Office of Refugee Resettlement and the U.S. Department of State Bureau and Populations, Refugee and Migrants. This collaboration at the local level is a reflection of their support and partnership in looking for innovative ways to welcome more Afghans into local communities. As part of our Washington State Afghan Placement and Assistance Program, we received the full support of the federal government to increase capacity through transitional housing model and to sustain it for a full year. We look forward to the continued support with our federal, state, and local community partners to welcome more that are fleeing persecution and seeking an opportunity to rebuild lives and contribute to a thriving and diverse and open society. Thank you.
I now want to welcome Fatima. Fatima is one of our really wonderful hotel team members who's also a former guest of our hotel, and she's going to share a little bit about her story.
Thank you. By the name of Allah, dear distinguished guest, Mayor Bernie, if I could not mistake, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Refugee Transitional Hotel Project. My name is Fatima. I'm proud to say that I am part of the King County Hotel team. One of the former guests at this hotel, who is a refugee from Afghanistan. Please allow me to share part of my story with you. We left our home country on the 23rd of August 2021 after the collapse of the country to the Taliban. We were initially evacuated by the Polish military troops and passed through several countries coming like Poland and Denmark. We reached before to the US. Before the Taliban took over, I can say we tried to live as normal as possible in Kabul. We lived in a 5-bedroom apartment in a nice and secure area. My kids were attending one of the greatest private schools. I was a medical doctor, and my husband worked in a management consulting firm. We also had a small restaurant. Life was great. Yes, we had concern and worries. Sometimes there would be explosion or other attacks in the city. But despite all those, we were still happy and living a great life. We were amongst our friends and relatives. We celebrate our happiness and shared our sorrows together. Kabul collapsed on my eldest daughter's 15th birthday, August 15. It was her golden birthday. She knew this and had planned to have, She knew this and had planned to have a special party. Everything was ready for the big day. The venue was decorated. The invitation cards were sent, and I had prepared all the food previous night. She wanted to wear a dress that her aunt sent her from California. She was also very specific about her birthday cake that we ordered for her the day before. My husband left earlier in the morning to pick up her birthday cake. He called me shortly after when he left home. With concern in his voice, he said, everything collapsed, the Taliban are here. When we knew that Taliban would deny our daughter's right to go to school, even they take her from us to marry one of their fighters. And also we knew that would prevent me from leaving the home without a man escorting me. We felt we were attracted and did not know if we survived. We attempted 3 times to get to the airport out of Afghanistan. Our first 2 attempts were failures, and almost we lost our kids. We witnessed people deny in front of our eyes. We were humiliated, our lives were treated, even were beaten by the Taliban. We did not give up, though. Our mission was clear: to leave the country, save our kids, and secure them better future somewhere else. We did not know where, anywhere other than Afghanistan. As the last of the American military left Afghanistan, for 24 hours their planes filled the sky like a star in the night. Oh, how my husband and I wished to be one of these planes. On our 3rd attempt, and after spending many hours under the hot sun and passing through a crowd of thousands of people, we finally managed to get to the part of the airport where the Polish troops were stationed and were expecting us. We finally made it. We were going to get out of here after all. The first morning in Poland, we heard about the big explosion, which took the lives of 150 civilians and 11 the soldiers of the United States. I could not believe we were there just 2 days before with my kids. In June of this year, we finally made it to America. We landed in Virginia and were instantly overwhelmed by the great welcome and warmth we received. Next, we were transferred to the Seattle area. Upon our arrival, we stayed in this very hotel. During our stay, we felt comfortable and safe, and we were always treated nicely and graciously by the very staff members who are now my colleagues. The rooms were clean, cozy, and had all the things we need. This place is more than just a hotel. It is a unique and a special place. There is a sense of community where refugees can feel human and have a chance to express our freedom and being to build cultures. Through kindness support at this hotel, we have been able to incorporate both the culture of Afghans and Americans while embracing equity and example with a weekly women's session in a seeing room. These spaces are important because they create a place that encouraging conversation. Only an immigrant can truly understand the emotion and pain of other immigrants. We related to each other through shared experience and help each other out. Even it is just a listening. It has been slightly more than a month since we moved out of this hotel and into our new apartment. My family is optimistic about our future. I'm happy that my kids have the opportunity to go to school and learn. They are happy to be in America and have already started making friends and hopefully will live the American dreams. Thank you for the time. Now I would like to introduce and welcome Mayor Bernie. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for being here today. I'm Angela Burney. I'm the mayor of Redmond. Thank you so much, Fatima, for sharing your story. It is my honor to have this space that you and other refugees could come and rebuild your lives. And hopefully some of you stay in Redmond, others of you will stay in King County and the state and continue to be a part of our community. So thank you so much for being a part of this. It's kind of awful that I have to follow her. But thank you all very much for being here today. It was truly my honor to be the mayor at the time that we could offer up this space for people to come enter our country, find stability, find a community, and continue on with their lives that were so tremendously disruptive by the end of the war in Afghanistan. I want to thank, excuse me, King County for making the call and saying, hey, how would you like to use this facility to house refugees for a bit? And of course, the first answer out of my mouth was yes. Didn't have to think about it, talk to my staff later, but you made it all work. Thank you to my staff for being here today and for helping in this transition to help all these families. Thank you to April and the rest of King County and the staff of King County to make sure that people had the supports they needed. Thank you to the state for bringing those people all of the resources they needed as well. And thank you for you being here as well to help with the transition for these families. It is, Redmond is a welcoming city, and I can say it all I want, but it's really in times like these that we can really make those impacts for here and for our community. I'm very proud to be part of the city, proud to be part of the county, proud to be part of the state that can do this small favor to these individuals and families that did so much for our country when we were in their country helping to support democracy. So thank you all for being here today. Really appreciate it. I think I turn it back over to Megan.
Thank you, Mayor Bernie, Nikki, Sarah, Fatima. Your story was so powerful. You can see the many, many, many tears. Thank you for being here and speaking today as well. Everybody here has contributed to the success of this project. Fatima's story today really grounded us in the why. This has been so meaningful to be a part of, and it's bittersweet to come to an end. This concludes the speaker portion of our program. We hope that you'll go out into our hallway. There's some really yummy Afghan food. We hope you'll grab some and then rejoin us for a certificate portion of our program. Thanks so much.